We're about to dive into some juicy goodness called How to Fly. First, love yourself. We're going to be diving into that over the next hour or so. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the sponsored message. Listen, if you have been listening to this show and you are all unhappy, unsatisfied, not thrilled about your results in life, and you want to take it to the next freaking level, you want to turn on the afterburners, and you want to succeed like never before, that's the 21-day challenge and what we're out to do. We'll get crystal clear on your long-term goals, break them down into bite-sized steps, and empower you every single day with daily accountability, daily reports, daily knowing the numbers and knowing what's going on, which is the biggest freaking transformation that you could possibly create in your life and business. That's the 21-day challenge. If you want to activate that superpower, that super fuel called the 21-day challenge, called being and becoming your greatest possible self with us, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, or find me on Facebook and message me there, facebook.com/th3 Burns. Would love to hear from you and hear how you are igniting into your GPS and how we can support you. Looking forward to talking to you. Next up is the iTunes review of the week. And this week, it's by Sophia, Wise One. Sophia says, inspiration, that's the deal. Reminding me what's possible, keeping us on track. Thank you. Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate you. I am so grateful that you took the time to give us a review. If you want to give us and leave us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes. Hit the subscribe button, press rate review, and let us know what you love, what you absolutely want to hear more of, and what can be improved. We'd love to hear what that is, what you want to see more of, and how we can grow. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. I appreciate you. And now we're going to dive into this next section called How to Fly. First, love yourself. And that's what I'm talking to every single guest on the show today about, because it is February 13th. And tomorrow is the 14th, which many of you know is Valentine's Day. Many of you may not care. I used to not care at all about Valentine's Day because, I didn't have a girlfriend for, on average, about 7-8 years of my life. So I was like, Valentine's Day, schmalentine's Day. But something I did get really good at. Now I love it, of course, because I have a girlfriend. She's the woman of my dreams, and I get to remind her how much I love her on those beautiful days called Valentine's Day. And along the process of kind of going through the motions with Valentine's Day, I said, well, why don't I take this day and this period of time where everyone else is freaking rising in love and being so happy and fulfilled, and I'm like being Scrooge McDuck over here, but instead of with money, with love. Why don't I take this time to really appreciate myself and work on myself and remind myself how freaking enough I am for myself. Let's take this time to celebrate me, CB. And so I started really cultivating this aspect of me where I loved myself. And we're going to be diving into how challenging my journey was. And I've shared about my journey multiple times on the show, but for anyone who's just now listening or hearing, you're going to hear some awesome journey that I've been through. It's absolutely incredible, and I wouldn't be the man who I am today without it. And to be this human being who's in front of you, standing powerfully, claiming, owning, being, I'm becoming my greatest possible self. That's taking some serious work. Some serious freaking work. So much time, so much energy, so many journaling exercises, so much reading, so much meditation, so much introspection, so many seminars, so many breakthroughs, so many hypnosis sessions, so much NLP. I really had to work on myself so much. And it's incredible to see how much I've grown in the last 6 years, really, since I started my personal development journey. It was about 6 years ago when I joined a network marketing company. And it was at that point that I knew I really had to work on myself. Because today you might see me on the show interviewing over 480 leaders, role models, experts, people who are changing the world. And let me tell you, to be able to attract these people and hang with them and keep them having a great time on the show, I got to be powerfully me and own that and share that and exude that in the world so that they're excited to just be them and hang out with me. And we both just get to be ourselves and come alive. And to be able to be coaching leaders, influencers, people who are changing the world, helping them get their message out in bigger ways, helping them start their podcasts, helping them break through their limiting beliefs, the self-sabotage, they're not good enough, helping them find what's really important to them, specifically been going laser focused with these 26-year-old men who have successful businesses, who have external greatness on the outside, and everyone else says, man, this is awesome, but deep down inside, they're like, something's missing. And at the end of the day, they say, man, I'm just really not happy. I'm really not fulfilled. I just need to get more. I need to go somewhere. I need to be something more. I need to do something more. That next achievement, that next party, that next house, that next car, that next $1 million, that next dream woman, or one night stand. Typically not a dream woman, because these men are not vibrating on that level yet, or they believe that they deserve that, and they're calling that in and cultivating that. So that's today who I am and how I'm showing up and serving these people and playing fucking big. Chris Burns, pat on the back, bro. You're playing fucking big. I am. I am playing fucking big. And I own it. I receive it. I own it. I live it. I love it. Appreciate it. I am seen. I'm heard. I am loved. But it wasn't always this way. So let's go back. Talk about a time when I was loved early on. See, I was loved growing up. I had so much love in my family. My parents loved me. My parents raised me and my sister to be most amazing human beings. My mom's like an angel. My dad, worked his butt off to provide for our family. He was a great role model for a man in a lot of ways. He was strong. He was powerful. He was sturdy. He was stoic. He was there. And I'm 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and I'm just like having a blast. Like, man, life's amazing. And then I start picking up these beliefs along the journey. I start picking up these beliefs that say I'm not worthy. I don't belong. I'm not good enough. I'm an outcast. I get in trouble. I'm dirty. I'm bad. I'm wrong. Uh-oh. These really hit me at a deep level because I grew up as this childlike innocence. I would say my parents were really great at preserving it inside of me, childlike innocence and wonder and possibility. And along the years, it just slowly started retreating and shrinking and getting shoved down because I wasn't cool, because it wasn't what I thought I had to be or should be or was supposed to be able to fit in for people to like me. And I moved to a new school district in junior high and knew, I think, 3 people at the school in my entire class. And it was at that point where I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I don't know anyone here. I got to go to a first day of school and I am scared. What if nobody likes me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm weird? What if I'm creepy? What if I'm not accepted, not loved? What if I'm the outcast? What if I'm a loser? And so I go to this new school district, and throughout junior high, as most teenagers experience, it's a weird time period. I'm 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, and I'm just trying to figure out who the freaking heck I am and what is life? What is this thing that I've gotten myself into? Junior high, what is this? And I grow through junior high, get into high school, and luckily I have some cool friends who I meet through baseball, and I had some good experiences. But I also start really comparing myself to other people in a lot of ways, and looking at my dad, seeing him as this big buff guy, 6'2", 6 feet 2 inches, and feeling weak and insignificant compared to him. And he was a really great dad, and at times he would get angry. I think we can get angry, we can lose our cool, no matter who we are. Even like Mother Teresa probably lost her cool sometimes, right? And I would internalize that my dad, when he lost his cool, when he would get mad, when I would screw up, when I would get in trouble, is one, I'm bad and I'm wrong. And two, I started saying things like, I hope I never wind up like him. I never want to be like him. I never want to be angry. I never want to be enraged and powerful like he is. And I started making up all these stories. And so fast forward, and it's the end of high school, and I'm still carrying a lot of these stories that I'm not powerful, I'm weak, I drop footballs for like touchdown passes, my one and only opportunity to catch a pass. Who's that? I don't remember who I was talking to. I don't know if it was Elliot Hulse or someone, but I remember saying, hey, I dropped this touchdown running pass. But I just felt like a screw up, felt like an outcast, a misfit. I didn't belong. And life was pretty difficult for me. There was a lot of good things, but it was difficult because I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel like it was okay to just be me. And I didn't have the ability to communicate it. I didn't have the ability to tell anyone about it. And it sucked. It was difficult. And I had dark thoughts and dark energy that I didn't really know how to process. And I took it out on people and things, animals around me. I was venting my frustration and my disappointment, my hurt, my suffering. Hurt people. And there's a lot of cynicism and negativity and sarcasm in my friends groups because that was just how we processed life and got on, kept moving forward. It's all we knew. And so I started getting into partying and getting into drinking and just really getting into a bad spot in my life. And so I end up going through college. I get my electrical engineering degree. And I did that just because I thought I was supposed to, just because I was like, well, I'm supposed to get money. I'm supposed to be financially well off. I'm not supposed to be a burden on my parents. In fact, at the point, I was probably like, screw you, mom and dad. I'm going to do what I want. I don't need your help. I don't need you. You didn't help me. I don't owe you nothing. So full of myself on the outside, exterior, right? Like I got it all together. I don't need you. When deep down inside, I was this afraid little boy who felt like lost and like living in this big world that was bigger than me. That I wasn't even able to handle. Like I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to handle it. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to handle the pressures. I would disappoint people. I would let them down. I would fail. I would lose myself. I would get lost in life. And so I said, I'm going to be my own man. I'm going to rebel. I don't need to listen to you. And that wound me up in a lot of trouble. A lot of drunken nights, hangovers, intoxication. And so fast forward, and I know I've been sharing a lot about the past and the pain. It's so funny when we do debrief calls with guests who come on the show. Sometimes we'll say, "Damn, you really spent a lot of time in the pain. Like, get through the pain quicker." And now I'm staying in the pain. So I think you can get it. You can empathize. I find a network marketing company 6 months before I graduate college. And I'm like, boom, this is my ticket, dude. These people are 18 years old making six figures. Like, I'm going for it. Like, I'm not working for the rest of my life. I want to travel. I want to do what I want when I want. I want freedom. I want money. I want all the women. I want all the clothes. I want all the houses. I want all the cars. I want the life that I want. And I will do whatever it takes to get there. Or so I thought. So I go ham in the first year of network marketing, which for you who don't know, ham means hard as a mother trucker. It's like going super intense, super ferocious, and doing whatever it takes as long as it takes. So I went ham that first year of network marketing. And I quickly discovered that nobody trusted me. I didn't trust myself, so that came off across to other people. But how I saw myself is I'm not a leader, and I don't know why you guys are here at this network meeting, this opportunity meeting where you can find out about the business and the product. And I don't know why you're here, but I'm gonna get up on the stage because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what my uplines told me to do. So I'll do it. And so I get up and I bombed. And nobody trusted me because I didn't trust myself, because I was so hurting inside myself and I didn't love myself and I didn't appreciate myself. So why would anybody else do that? Justina, it's therapeutic. All is well. I love it. And thank you, Justina and Elena. I appreciate you both. So I just give it everything I got. And a year later, I'm still not growing at the level that I want to. Feel like I'm better than everyone else. I feel like I'm smarter than everyone else. I don't need anyone. Still hurting a lot. Not caring about my family. Not caring about love. I feel like I don't know what love is. I say, I don't know what love is. I don't need love. Screw love. I'm better than love. I just want to achieve. I want to do. I want to go. Go. Because I couldn't even sit still with myself. Right? So in this journey of loving myself, I completely disowned love. I completely banished love and said, screw you, love, screw you, God, screw you, parents. I don't need none of you. And it caused a lot of trauma in my life and caused a big disconnect with me and the people around me as well. So it's important to recognize, what are your patterns? What are your stories about the past around love? For me, I had the story that I'm better than love. I don't need love. That was a big part of my journey. And so what did I do when I started discovering that that was my story? Let's start taking actions that are the contrary. Thankfully, I went through a lot of personal development training that one of the requirements was to get back in contact with my family and loved ones and reestablish relationships and communicate, take on those tough conversations. And so I started doing that more and more. I started redefining, who am I in relation to people's disconnection, in relation to people's love for me. How did I relate to people's love that they sent my way? My parents, how did I relate to that? How did I relate to being alone by myself? We talked about how to fly, how to first love yourself. That's what the theme of this interview is. And so I recognized that I really had to start working on myself. I really had to start growing myself. And at first, it was just a means to an end. It was just, well, I want to look good for the judge. I want to look good for, the society. I want to look good for my parents. I don't want them to be disappointed in me. I want to look good on paper. I want to look good to future work opportunities. I'm going to work on myself because I want people to want to have me around. I want companies to want to hire me. I want, whatever, right? I want to be an attractive team member. And so that's really the reason why. But it was still being driven from a place of fear fear that I wouldn't be enough, fear that I wouldn't be loved, fear that I wouldn't be included. So it really took journaling and meditating and gratitude. Gratitude was huge in my process to becoming this being of light and empowerment and upliftment that I am now. Like practicing so much freaking gratitude, journaling and journaling and journaling and journaling. So much journaling, so much writing, so much processing, getting out those past limiting beliefs and paradigms, releasing those, giving myself permission to release those, declaring that they're released, visualizing how I'll show up newly. Like that was one of my very first big steps. So I saw the vision of what's possible. I said, okay, I'm going to work on myself because I want to get to that vision, because I want people to have me around, because I don't want people to leave me and abandon me and not love me and say that I'm not enough and reject me. So that was really like the impetus in the beginning. And then after a while, I said, hey, this is kind of feeling good to love myself. It's kind of feeling good to be a good person. It's kind of feeling good to just be on my own. Like I started enjoying more to be on my own than to be with other people. Like it was more enjoyable. I rather would be working on myself, working on my business, working on the things that were important to me than doing what other people expected or wanted or people pleasing. And I found when I was alone, I could really just be me. And a lot of people, especially young men, have challenges with being alone, just sitting with themselves, getting to a place of solitude where they can listen, where they can let go of what other people think and what other people want from them. A lot of men are just doing because that's what other people are expecting of them. So for me, I went through this phase of, man, I see the goal. I know I want to achieve more, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to work my butt off. And after the network marketing company, I did different entrepreneurial ventures and sales and different businesses that I started. And I grew to start liking myself first. I didn't know what the word love meant in the beginning. I was like, I don't know what love is. The heck is love? I couldn't say it to my parents. I pretended like I didn't know what love was. I pretended like I forgot, because as a little kid, of course, I loved the heck out of my parents, and they loved the heck out of me. But in the teenage years, the story that I created, I was such a powerful creator, powerful storyteller, in my own story, my own vision, my own version of the world, my own perspective. I was such a powerful creator that it really started creating that reality where my parents probably didn't feel like connected to me. They didn't feel like they felt the love. They felt like I was lost and disconnected and out doing my own thing, and they're just praying that I wouldn't wind up in jail. I wouldn't wind up dead. It's probably what they were praying at one time. I'm sure it was. Absolutely sure. 100%. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I grew through that phase, and I'm grateful I started tapping into these powers of gratitude. So simply, tactically, if you're going through a space of feeling numb or empty or alone, just start writing gratitude. Build a freaking daily practice. Stop making excuses. Put a journal right by your bed, whatever you got to do. But that was one of the very first things that I did. I was already taking notes. Thank God I was already a great note taker because of school, because of college. But I really started applying the creation rather than the regurgitation, which was in school. I was like regurgitating information. I started creating gratitude and trusting my artistic creativity and creation. And that happened through gratitude. And I learned to love writing. I learned to love expressing myself through my pen, onto paper, onto text. And so I grew through this phase where the words that I wrote started mattering, started being valuable just in and of themselves. because I wrote them, because I chose them. The gratitude was valuable. The energy of the gratitude was valuable. And it started filling me up, started filling up my cup slowly. And remember, this is 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago that I started doing gratitude. You know, I'd say I probably started when I was in network marketing, started affirming, started writing and creating and all that good stuff, goal setting, you know, like that's gratitude. Like I started practicing gratitude for the goals, even though I had no idea about law of attraction and living it and experiencing it in my mind and in my internal before I would see it externally. So that was super awesome. And I discovered my business partner about 3 years ago, which was a huge breakthrough. Really, really, really was. He taught me about the statement of purpose, designing a vision of my life. I'd done that stuff in different courses, but he took it to a whole freaking other level. Like he sat down with me and did, I think, 5, 6, 7 revisions to figure out what is the vision of my life that is inspiring, that is meaningful, that lights me up, that covers all the different aspects of life. How do I want my fitness to be? How do I want my spirituality? How do I want my wealth, my woo-woo, my finances, my relationships, my significant other, the dream woman? That's when I created my dream woman with my business partner. I started learning that it was okay to share what I wanted. It was okay to share that I wanted a beautiful woman from Europe, you know, with big, perfect, we'll just say a perfect body, perfect in all the right ways. And, you know, I love the word perfect because I would say perfect boobs, perfect butt, perfect curves, because perfect is subjective when it comes to a body. And I can say whatever I want is perfect. Someone's existence is perfect, but I know what it feels like. I know what I want it to feel like, and I freaking created the heck out of my girlfriend, the woman of my dreams, who I'm with right now. Been with her for a year, almost a year. February 17th. Woo woo! I'm so excited. 4 days from now, by the way, when we're recording this, February 13th. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I started working on myself. I met my business partner who really had me start standing for my truth. What is important to me? What's valuable for me? How do I step up for that? How do I not tolerate any BS? How do I disconnect myself from low or no standards and low or no standards people? How do I love myself by only surrounding myself with people who lift me up and who empower me and who make me feel greater than how I see myself? It was super powerful. I'm so grateful for Wayne, my business partner, our CEO. Changed my life. And he changed my life in such a big way, and he continues to do so. And I would say the next big change came with the woman of my dreams and attracting her, right? I attracted her a year ago, which was approximately a year into doing the 12-hour marathon. So I had to really work on myself to who do I want to be, who do I want to show up as in the world. And I started being that person on social media first. Well, maybe it wasn't first. I started being that person first in the network marketing company 6 years ago, saying, I'm a genius, I'm a superstar, I'm a six-figure earner, I'm a da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I started being that person and then it really got supercharged when I'm going to personal development events. Oh my gosh, that was such a huge catalyst for me. If you can find the communities of people who see you as a freaking legend, as a genius, as an expert, as an amazing human being, go there, be with them, be with those people. For me, it was personal development events and Landmark, New Peaks, Peak Potentials, Success Resources America, Millionaire Mind Experience, all these amazing, amazing things. And I really got to get reflected back to me what I wanted. That I was great, that I was freaking amazing, that I was a superstar, young 23, 24-year-old who's on fire, who has so much energy and passion in life to make a difference in the world. I got that reflected back to me, and I was like, and people saw it, and they affirmed it, and they acknowledged it in me. I was like, oh, That's me? Yes. Yes. I love being here. I love being around personal development communities. And so I kept pouring in tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm so grateful for every fucking penny I've spent and invested into myself because it's made me who I am today. And there were times where it was super difficult, where I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay the rent. There were times in my life where it got that difficult because I was pouring into my personal development so fast. I wanted to grow so fast. I wanted to become and be my greatest possible self so fast that my bank account and credit cards could not keep up with how fast I yearned for growth, how much I wanted to pour in value into the hole, right? Into the hole that I was trying to fill. I was addicted to personal development. Yes, it had amazing long-term, long-lasting effect, and in the short term, it really was a band-aid. It was a cover-up. It was really just trying to be worthy. And I only found my worthiness when I was around seminars where I could show up as the courageous, confident, young, 25 strapping lad, whatever, right? And that's where I found my significance. I felt like I was important. I felt like there was meaning to my life. But back when it came into the real world and still working on what's my business, how am I going to build this, how am I going to serve people, how am I going to add value to people, I just felt I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. Chris Burns, you are lost, boy. That's probably what's going on in my mind. Like, dude, you have no idea what you're doing, do you? And it was a feeling that I was doing it wrong. I was bad. I was not congruent with how other people saw me. I thought that there was something I was doing that was wrong, that was out of integrity, that was unethical, and I just like created these stories about myself. And so I had to break through those one by one. And the only way I could have attracted the woman of my dreams who I'm with now is by working on that stuff, by going through really hellish experiences, like going through feeling like I'm in hell, honestly. Like there were times where I was like, dude, what is going on in this lifetime? This is traumatizing. I'm crying, I'm bawling my eyes out. I feel like the whole world is against me and I'm just like stuck. There's some really, really difficult times, but on the other side of that, I really got to know who I am and what I can handle and what I can grow through in my life. And I just want to say I'm super proud of myself. So to love yourself, focus on the things that you're doing right. Focus on the things that are working for you. Learn how to sit with yourself. Go to nature. Go to places where you can just be silent and allow your truth, allow your message, allow the experiences and the memories of your life to just bubble up to the surface and sit with them. How does it feel? What's it like? What's life like for you? And it usually takes an honest look and extremely difficult, painful look at yourself before you're able to fly, before you're able to love yourself. You got to admit where you are. You got to acknowledge where you're not being real with yourself, where you're not being truthful. Maybe it's with your relationships, maybe it's with your health, your self-care, maybe it's with your business, your finances. For me, I really had to look at how I was treating myself, like my self-talk about my worthiness. And to take that on and to go tell people that I love them and to go build better relationships with people who cared about me, who I cared about deeply. But you really do have to love yourself. You really do have to discover, who are you? What do you stand for? What are your values? A big part of that, about knowing who I am, is being clear and being confident about that. Is knowing what I do and I don't like. Knowing that I love being at seminars. I don't love going to, the bar. The bar is so unfulfilling for me. It's so pointless. It's so like a waste of time. Like if I want to meet people, I'm not going to a bar to meet them. I'm going to go somewhere where there's sober, coherent, maybe not sober, but it doesn't have to be sober, but it's just the energy of a bar. What it attracts is people who are desperate, people who are like desperate to fill up that hole, desperate to have one night stands, to have romance that, maybe they're desperate to find someone. They're looking for the dream man or woman. But honestly, the likelihood of finding that person at a bar is extremely low. The likelihood of finding them at a seminar or personal development, way higher. Someone who's growth-oriented, wants to work on themselves. That's where I met my girlfriend. She was at a mastermind with like 15, 20 people, right? Talking about social media marketing, talking about content, putting out great content. That's where I met her. And then we went to the bar that evening and had some at Trump Hotel. Nice, quiet bar. And she took me through a guided meditation because it was quiet and it was so peaceful and enjoyable. And, we're in that atmosphere where we could do that. So she took me through a guided meditation, and I release a ton of tension and stress and feeling of overwhelm. And she could just see me lighten up and come alive. And that's where I got her. And I was just I was able to be me with her. And I think she saw that. And I was able to be extremely, radically, authentically me and transparent and real as heck. Sharing about the fears and the insecurities and the things that were difficult for me. But it was a breath of fresh air for her. And she's like, wow, this guy's so real. So straight to the point. Just speaks from his heart. Speaks about real things. Not just talking about business and making money and da-da-da-da-da. Those things are good. And to talk about what I'm in the process of releasing and letting go, those old self-sabotaging beliefs and patterns, and what I'm stepping into newly was very refreshing for her, I imagine. So if there's any men who are listening, I highly recommend you find a way to be you and be real. I wouldn't go from not doing it at all to on your very next date just unloading everything, because that can be overwhelming for women. There's definitely a finesse about it. There is a way you invite the conversation and create the context and the relationship and the respect for each other that has it blossom naturally. And sometimes you might do it in order to get connected, in order to try to please the woman. For me, it's this is just who I am. Take it or leave it. I'm real as fuck. Let's go. Let's do this meditation. You're going to hear about these limiting beliefs that I'm letting go of. Cool. Let's go. I didn't have anything to hide around that. And because of that, because I had worked on myself, because I had first loved myself, I attracted the woman of my dreams. Perfectly described in my statement of purpose. When I wrote about the woman of my dreams, she's from Europe, she speaks multiple languages, perfect body, etc., etc. And she's artistic, she's creative, she speaks in public, she's bold, she's courageous, she's a great coach, she's a great listener, very empathetic, full of great energy, full of joy, full of love, spiritual, all these things, right? I wanted a life partner who I could do everything that I love in life with. And she had the strengths where I had weaknesses. I literally wrote that on my statement of purpose. She has strengths. She is strong where I am weak. And my girlfriend's really good at finishing and completing things. I'm really great at starting things and coming up with new brilliant ideas. So it's just hilarious who we are. She's probably tempo and a blaze. There's a book, The Millionaire Master Plan. And there's 4 types of people. One is the dynamo, which is I think it's air symbol. Is it? Dynamo is air? Might be, no. Blaze? Dynamo. Anyways, so the dynamo is the person who has lots of ideas. I think the blaze person is the connector, is the networker. There's the tempo person, which is like the person who is really good at repeatable tasks, probably a great employee because they're good at taking direction and they like things to be secure and stable and consistent. And then there's the steel person, who's more of the introvert, who loves dealing with numbers, who loves thinking, who loves probably being alone, and more thoughtful, smart, intellectual in that way. And I think my girlfriend is a blaze. She's great with people, and she's also a tempo. She's great at, like, when you give her a task, she's consistent with it and finishes things. I believe that's what she is. I'm more of a dynamo, which is lots of ideas, and I believe a blaze, which is people. Dynamo and people and ideas I'm usually pretty good with. Yo! So that is really the process I went through to learn how to love myself. Get clear on your core values. Get clear on what's important to you. I really had to go through multiple processes where I looked at what is important to me, what matters to me. And I saw that growth and love and joy are my three biggest core values. And that came from community and empowerment and success. Those were some of my core values 3 years ago. I think we're always evolving. We're always growing into a higher version of ourselves. But it starts with loving yourself. It starts with discovering who you are, journaling about that, thinking about it, contemplating it, sitting with the energy, sitting with the thoughts, sitting with the beliefs. What feels good? Does it feel good? Does integrity feel really good to me? What about honesty? Ooh, that feels good. What about radical transparency? Ooh, that lights me up. Then you know that's closer to your core values. If you say, what am I passionate about? Data and numbers. Yay! What am I passionate about? Adventure. I am an adventurous. I love travel, blah, 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 blah. Then you know that's important to you. So it's essential that you take the time to sit and ask who you are. And that's what one of the biggest challenges is with being a younger person, is we don't have as much life experience to reference and to triangulate what's important to us. Who am I? And to look at the evidence. Who am I? Chris Burns. Well, I did sports, so I'm an athlete. I was great on the team. I had fun, as a team player. I was great in school, smart, brilliant, genius. I can learn things really quickly. What else? Who am I? I love learning. I'm passionate about learning. I'm passionate about growth. I'm passionate about ideas. Who am I? What else? Well, I'm consistent. If you put me in a race with someone, I will give everything I've got to keep up with them or beat them. I'm very competitive. I'm very driven. I'm very action oriented. So it's all these things. I started learning about them and what inspired me, and speaking on stage and meeting new people and seeing new things, adventuring, freedom. I discovered that was important to me only through a process of sitting with it. And if you don't know who you are, you feel like you're lacking clarity, you feel like your business isn't growing as fast as you'd want it to, or maybe it's stuck, or maybe you're not attracting the person who you really, really want, ask yourself, are you crystal clear on who you are, number one, and number two, who you want to be or become, and number three, who you want to attract in that process. Or you could say it like this: who are you now? You get to see all of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Number two, who do you want to attract? The dream woman, dream man, or perfect clients, perfect business, mentors, business partners, lifestyle, whatever. Who do you want to attract? What do you want to attract? And then three, who do you have to become to attract those things, to create that reality? That's something that's super powerful that you can go through. And it really all starts with loving yourself. And you love yourself by understanding yourself. Self-mastery, I believe, is self-love. To master yourself is to love yourself. To say I'm worth it is to love yourself, is to appreciate yourself, is to be grateful for what you do have and who you already are. So that is first, love yourself. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. How do you love yourself first? How do you plan on growing your love and your connection with yourself and your ability to really show up as your greatest possible self because you took the time to sit with it? It really takes sitting with it. It really takes being with it. It really takes coming with a humble, open heart and being willing to face the inner demons, the shadows, the darkness, the stuff that sucks, so that you can process it, transform it, transmute it into who you are committed to becoming.